I'm Vince Menzione, the CEO of Ultimate Partner and the host of the Ultimate Guide to Partnering podcast. We're on site today live at Google Cloud's Marketplace Exchange, interviewing partner leaders, driving success with Google's Marketplace, and how they're effectively utilizing the hyperscaler relationships and the role of the hyperscaler driving this new effective selling motion, working with hyperscalers, marketplaces, and effective co-selling, driving the change we are all seeing in this decade of the ecosystem. I hope you join us for these lively conversations. I'm Vince Menzione, the CEO of Ultimate Partner and the host of the Ultimate Guide to Partnering podcast. And I'm here with Jarrod Buckley, the VP of Channels and Alliances at Datadog, a force in this industry. So excited to have you join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, we are at the Google Cloud Marketplace Exchange. That's a mouthful. And just wrapping up an amazing event here. Jarrod, you were on stage at this event talking about Datadog and your work with Google Cloud. But for our viewers and listeners who don't know Datadog and know you, I thought maybe you'd spend a minute or two explaining your value proposition working with Google Cloud.
That sounds great. So short is we enable customers to observe and secure their cloud applications on one platform. So before, if you needed to do infrastructure monitoring, log management, application performance monitoring, you went to a bunch of different tools, or if you needed to secure those applications, you went to another set of tools. Well, with us, we're one platform. So developers, operation teams, and security teams come to one place to manage their cloud applications.
So fantastic. And you are no stranger to marketplaces at Datadog, right? You've been certainly driving this, I call the cloud transformation. We've been calling the tectonic shifts we've been seeing in our world and our lives, the prominence of the hyperscalers, the role of cloud commitments and really driving this new behavior and this new buying behavior. And you've been on this journey for quite some time. What are you seeing different now from Google and the work you're doing here with Google's Marketplace?
I mean, a few things. One, in the last 5 years, the amount of customers, and I'd say the vast majority of customers now, they are always evaluating cloud marketplaces as a preferred procurement option. They're having that conversation.
And that's a newer conversation.
And that's a newer conversation. And that's what I feel like's changed over the last 5 years. I'd say with Google, we're working on a lot of things together. We're working on, we've moved the conversation with our customers to earlier in the sales cycle to really help these customers make these decisions and to sell more effectively with Google. So that's one of the things we've done. We've just recently done some work to enable our channel partners to also sell Datadog on the Google Marketplace.
Nice. Talk to me a little bit more about that, the channel partners. I talk about the multi-party offers and the way that multiple organizations are coming, the ecosystem approach, right, that we're trying to drive against, and how it's changing. It's changing behavior from the customer being at the center versus trying to push product through a channel, right?
Yep. And
so tell us more about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a big difference. The customer is at the center. There's a lot of benefits for the customer to procure through these cloud marketplaces. So a couple things. I'd say one, now with these new functionality that GCP's rolled out, you can build proper go-to-market with the channel partners through the cloud. And it's a more natural alignment to come together to work as three, whereas before, all the incentives didn't align, and so I think we're on a journey for that, and that's really helping.
Yeah, you were fighting against it before,
yes,
right? Because the incentives weren't there, the rewards weren't there, and people were actually fighting. It was almost like swimming upstream. We're here in Seattle today. We could talk about salmons swimming upstream. You were just on stage at this event, this great event. What insights did you share that you could share here with our viewers and listeners?
A couple things. I think on one side, try to just help folks that were really scaling, because we are scaling it now at the size of our business. And so talked about how to set up from deal desk to the right product management team to the right operations team, so you can scale this across geographies, across verticals. So that was one thing we talked about. We definitely did talk about, hey, having that conversation with customers earlier in the sales cycle to help companies partner with GCP. So those were a couple of I'd say the main things we kind of hit on today.
So when you talk about scale, just I want to see if we do a deep dive on this. Are you talking about you're putting people from your organization, embedding them into your field organization to help drive scale, or how do you see that coming to fruition?
Yeah, a few ways. So in fact, we talked a little bit about this today as well, is that's that intersection of humans and systems.
Yes.
So we built some systems so that our AEs and GCP AEs can connect without a human having to be in the middle. So that has been an improvement at the scale we're talking about with thousands of sellers, tens of thousands at GCP. And then, yes, to answer your question, we are putting more than humans covering different regions so we can be proactive in the co-selling. So those are kind of the two things we're working to bring together.
Specific deals.
You got it, exactly.
One of the insights that came out earlier today was the fact that partners are seeing greater velocity, deal velocity, and also larger size deals going through the marketplace. Are you seeing some of that, experiencing some of that as well?
We are.
Yeah.
So we're seeing significantly larger deal sizes, which is interesting and great to see. And we're seeing the expand on those deal sizes look really good as well. So those are some things. A lot more bigger deals coming through the marketplace.
Fantastic. So have a lot of viewers and listeners. Some are on the fence on their marketplace strategy. They're not fully baked. They're getting involved. They want to learn more. And this is budget season, right? So a lot of these organizations, a lot of the viewers and listeners are in that budget planning process for 2025. What advice would you give them, any insights that you would give them on what they need to do to align for success going into 2025?
Well, I'd say one thing is if you're in that planning process, you're trying to influence some very senior leaders right now of where you want to take it. So I would be really deliberate and definitive on what you're solving for. So if you're solving for customer choice, that might take you down one set of investments. If you were leaning completely into revenue growth at all costs, a different set of investment. So I think be really, really deliberate on what you want to accomplish and communicate that to your leaders as you ask for planning, resources, budget, etc. So that's where I'd start. And then if you are leaning all in, like align your incentives across the board to drive those marketplace transactions.
Yeah, I love that. Incentives drive behavior, right?
That's
so great to have you here today. So great that you spent some time with us at the end of a very busy day here at the Marketplace Exchange. For our viewers and listeners that want to learn more about you and Datadog, how can they reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on email. I'm fine with that. Also LinkedIn, so LinkedIn if it's easier, just find Jarrod Buckley there. Email is jarrod.buckley@datadoghq.com.
I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank our listeners and viewers for watching and listening today, and thank you for following The Ultimate Guide to Partnering. Thank you again, Jarrod. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for watching and listening to this episode of The Ultimate Guide to Partnering, online at theultimatepartner.com, where you can find all of our amazing episodes. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and our new YouTube channel, The Ultimate Partner. Thank you for listening and supporting The Ultimate Guide to Partnering.